Good evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Tuesday, October the 24th, 2023. I am Jarrell Bryan. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. Opposition, government hold very successful talks on Guyana-Venezuela border controversy as Guyana condemns effort to create new Venezuelan state of ESSEQUIBO region. Current pace of works on Linden-Mabura road not satisfactory, PS. Government looking to source water from aquifers, activate National Water Council. Government launches investigation into illegal gold trade. And 2 die after truck topples off bridge, Lansing Creek. Now for the news in detail. The Nicolas Maduro government is pushing ahead with its planned referendum, wherein it is seeking its population's approval of a new Venezuelan state consisting of Guyana's Essequibo region. This has attracted fierce condemnation from the Guyana government, which has since alerted the international community of this latest act of aggression from the Spanish-speaking nation. Find out more in this report.
The National Electoral Council of Venezuela has issued 5 questions to be asked in the national referendum scheduled for December 3rd. All of the questions are intended to further Venezuela's unlawful and unfounded claim to more than 2/3 of Guyana's national territory. However, the last question is particularly pernicious, according to the Guyana government, as it brazenly seeks the approval of the Venezuelan people of the creation of a new Venezuelan state consisting of Guyana's Essequibo region, which would be incorporated into the national territory of Venezuela, and the granting of Venezuelan citizenship to the population. In a statement of condemnation on Monday night, the Guyana government expressed that, and I quote, "This amounts to nothing less than the annexation of Guyana's territory, in blatant violation of the most fundamental rules of the UN Charter, the OAS Charter, and general international law. Such a seizure of Guyana's territory would constitute the international crime of aggression." End quote. The statement went on to express that, and I quote, "The government finds abhorrent that the Essequibo region, which forms part of the territory of Guyana in accordance with the 1899 arbitral award that demarcated the boundaries of the states of Venezuela and then British Guyana, should be created into a state within Venezuela." End quote. Guyana further made it clear that neither the government or the people of one country have the right in international law to seize, annex, or take the territory of another country. In alerting the international community of these developments, the Guyana government reminded that these actions by Venezuela have the potential to incite violence and to threaten the peace and security of the state of Guyana and, by extension, the Caribbean region. Only last week, the Guyana government was monitoring reports of increased Venezuelan military activities along the borders. Venezuela claimed that the increased mobilization of troops along the borders are aimed at curbing illegal mining. Guyana nevertheless informed the international community of this development as it continues to keep a close eye on the situation. Last month, Venezuela had issued a statement that threatened Guyana and protested against Guyana's efforts to auction its oil blocks, even though all of the blocks are in Guyana's sovereign territory. President Dr. Irfaan Ali had issued a stern response in a video broadcast to Venezuela's latest threat. In a social media post in response, however, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro accused Guyana of jeopardizing peace in the region despite it being the Spanish-speaking country initiating the controversy. The Venezuelan president had also proposed to President Ali that the two sides meet with CARICOM as a mediator to return to the Geneva Agreement of 1966 that reaffirmed the 1899 arbitral award. However, Guyana currently has a case against Venezuela before the International Court of Justice, a case the Spanish-speaking country has been seeking to block, including by using spurious arguments such as claiming that the 1899 arbitral award is void. The ICJ has already ruled, however, that it has jurisdiction to hear the case. Guyana has repeatedly encouraged Venezuela to participate in the process.
Meanwhile, President Dr. Irfaan and senior government officials today held talks with members of the APNU-AFC opposition on Venezuela's latest acts of aggression towards Guyana. The meeting was held at the office of the president. Opposition leader Aubrey Norton told reporters following the meeting that the discussions were very successful. He also labeled Venezuela's move to hold a referendum on December the 3rd very dangerous. In addition to Norton, the opposition team comprised Amanzo Walton Desir, Gita Chandan Edmond, Kemra Dramjatan, and others. Meanwhile, Vice President Dr. Barra Jagdeo, Prime Minister Mark Phillips, Governance Minister Gail Teixeira, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Relations Hugh Todd, among others, were also part of the meeting. We now report that as construction continues on the US $190 million Linden-Mabura Hill Road project, Permanent Secretary of the Public Works Ministry, Vladimir Prasad, has admitted that the government is not satisfied with the current pace of works. Here is more. It was revealed recently that just over 2 kilometers of asphaltic road works have been completed on the Linden-Mabura Hill Road. This section of the road, which is supposed to eventually reach 121 kilometers, is being upgraded by Brazilian firm Construtora Queiroz Galvão S.A. During a recent Public Accounts Committee meeting, Public Works Ministry Permanent Secretary Vladimir Prasad was asked if government is satisfied with the pace of work.
The ministry could never be satisfied with contractors, especially a large firm of this size, who've had experience in working in conditions similar to this. At their current pace, we've had several meetings, both at the level of my minister as well as our level. Definitely we're not satisfied. I think the company should be moving at a faster pace, not only to cater for, the catch-up that they need to, but also to be able to move way ahead in terms of being able to meet the agreed timeline for completion. That's something we will enforce accordingly as per contractual management of the contract.
The Permanent Secretary confirmed that the firm is a bit behind schedule and related the reason for this.
They're a little bit behind schedule, simply because of one rain issue and they had to look at the redesign to allow for a new sub-base material that would allow them to, one, not only increase their work that is being done, which we're now seeing some progress, and to allow that the new sub-base material that you're going to be using will allow, or it's more weather resistant in the sense that they've catered for a new mix that even if we have heavy rainfall, etc., it should not slow down the pace at which they are working.
The US $190 million contract for the Linden-Mabura Hill Road was signed in May of last year. It is being funded by Guyana, the Caribbean Development Bank, CDB, and the United Kingdom. Jarrell Bryan, The Evening News. With the need to employ more measures aimed at water conservation, the government is looking to implement a policy that would include the launch of a National Water Council and the use of aquifers. Here are the details. At the 32nd Annual Caribbean Water and Wastewater Association exhibition on Monday, Minister in the Housing and Water Ministry Susan Rodriguez spoke of the government's plans for the water sector. These plans include a National Water Council, which he said would be activated. Another plan is to utilize aquifers, underground structures that can provide potable water.
One of the desired outcomes of this policy will be to activate a National Water Council. This institutional mechanism will provide a practical model of how the various sectors with responsibility for water use and control can work harmoniously to protect, develop, sustain, and manage all water resources. The policy framework also consists of a groundwater management plan for the coastal aquifers, which when implemented is expected to guarantee a reliable and affordable supply of potable water from groundwater sources.
According to Rodriguez, the aim is to increase water coverage from 52% to 90% by 2025. The government also has plans for the construction of more water treatment plants and the rehabilitation of existing ones.
To address the challenges and objectives in the water sector, the government of Guyana has embarked on an ambitious capital program to invest in water infrastructure, including storage, distribution, and treatment facilities. The government also intends to continue to upgrade the infrastructure in the city of Georgetown by replacing aged transmission and distribution lines to ensure that service delivery levels are improved. At the policy level, we have drafted a number of strategies that will guide a framework governing efficient water management and conservation.
In Budget 2023, $17.7 billion was allocated to improve the water sector, particularly when it comes to water sanitation. Jarrell Bryan, The Evening News. In light of dropping gold declarations that are at odds with the investments being made in the sector, the Natural Resources Ministry has announced that an investigation would be launched into whether gold smuggling illegal trade is responsible for this disparity. Details in this report.
In a statement on Monday evening, the Ministry of Natural Resources explained that the government has noted the significant difference between the production of gold and the declaration or sale of gold to licensed gold dealers, traders, and/or the Guyana Gold Board. This is evident, it explained, from the reduction of gold declaration to date when compared to the current mining activities and affiliated investment within the sector. In announcing the investigation into these developments, the ministry warned that the full force of the law will be applied to those breaching it. The ministry also warned that miners with existing property tenures within the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission may be in jeopardy of losing them. A warning was also sounded for miners culpable of selling gold to unlicensed dealers or traders. They were cautioned that in addition to being prosecuted, they may be restricted from the mining sector. Vice President Dr. Bar Jagdeo just a few months ago had also warned of serious consequences for miners involved in illegal activities within the sector. The warning was issued following reports that Brazilian federal authorities have launched an investigation into a Guyanese businessman suspected of laundering millions worth of illegally mined gold into that country. Jagdeo had also admitted that the government has been monitoring the decline in gold declarations, with at least one foreign company on its radar for declaring lower than usual figures. For 2022, the declaration was 486,415 ounces. In 2021, it was 499,054 ounces. 2020 recorded 584,291 ounces, and 2019 some 634,905 ounces. Reporting for the Evening News, Davina Samru.
Coming up, RDC robbery case postponed after court file was not submitted to new magistrate, and workforce incentives key in realizing Guyana's first-rate oil strategies, says expert.
Premier insurance coverage for less. Stay safe. For bid, performance, retention, advanced mobilisation or customs bonds, bond with us. Fuel your success. Call 223-0840 or visit premierinsurance.gy. Premier Insurance coverage.
Your child needs nutrients every day. Enfagrow has DHA and iron, which supports your child's mental development. Enfagrow has components which cow's milk does not contain. Support your toddler's growth and complement their diet with Enfagrow. Let's fuel the wonder.
Transitions Light Intelligent Lenses. Pick your color. Choose your style. Available at Optique Vision Care.
Heavy-duty equipment owners and mechanics transfer and dispense grease easily, quickly and precisely from 110 to 132-pound drums with a roughneck air-operated mobile grease pump kit from Sylvies. This durable product saves maintenance time, is designed to be portable, and keeps impurities out of your grease drum. Shop now at sylviesonline.com or visit our 31 High and Hatfield Street store. We also deliver. Call or WhatsApp 623-7755 for more info.
Your child needs nutrients every day. Enfagrow has DHA and iron, which supports your child's mental development. Enfagrow has components which cow's milk does not contain. Support your toddler's growth and complement their diet with Enfagrow. Let's fuel the wonder.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. A truck driver and his porter last evening lost their lives after the vehicle in which they were traveling turned turtle along the Linden-Letem Trail in the vicinity of the Irokrama Canopy Walkway Junction. The truck driver has been identified as Orland King of Anai, Region 9, Upper Takatu, ESSEQUIBO, while the identity of the porter is yet to be confirmed. Based on reports received, the lorry was heading to the Rupununi when it toppled while crossing a bridge. Reports are that the two men were trapped in the vehicle after it landed in a creek. Their bodies were later pulled from the wreckage by persons who went to their aid. Investigations are continuing. Meanwhile, the three accused of being involved in the multi-million-dollar robbery of the Region 6 Regional Democratic Council made their second court appearance today. However, as we hear in this Andrew Carmichael report, the court was not in possession of the case jacket, and as such, the matter was postponed.
The three accused, 32-year-old Oni Lamkin, a construction worker of Shitanka Village, East Kanji, Berbice, 25-year-old Damian Morgan of Fort Ordnance, East Kanji, Berbice, and 27-year-old Shaquille Grant, a businessman of Asylum Street, New Amsterdam, Berbice, appeared at the New Amsterdam Magistrates Court on Tuesday before Magistrate Renita Singh. It was their second court appearance. When the case was first called on October 3rd at the Georgetown Magistrates Court, the trial was not required to plead to the indictable charge and were released on $500,000 bail each, and the matter was transferred to the New Amsterdam Magistrates Court. They are charged with robbery under arms, contrary to Section 222C of the Criminal Law Offence Act, Chapter 801. The armed robbery was committed at the Regional Democratic Council's office in New Amsterdam, Berbice on September 3, 2023. When the matter was called in New Amsterdam on Tuesday, Magistrate Singh said she was not in possession of the case jacket and as such postponed the matter until Friday. The Evening News understands that the case jacket, which includes details of the case, was not yet transferred to the magistrate. The three men had been arrested days prior to their initial court appearance, as investigators were able to put together new evidence as it relates to the $40 million robbery which took place at the RDC building during the wee hours of the day in question. Prior to the men being charged, 60-year-old security guard Suri Suknanan told investigators that he was on duty at the RDC guard hut situated at the back of the main administrative building when about 4 unidentifiable men came into the compound from a fence behind the building and dealt him one lash to his forehead with an object, causing him to receive injuries. He also claimed that his hands were tied behind his back and duct tape was placed over his mouth to silence him. The men had made their way into the building and cut a grilled door where cash was being held. It had been reported that $40 million was stolen during the robbery. Later in the day, police confronted a car with 5 men, and during a shootout, one of the suspected bandits was shot and killed. Meanwhile, on Tuesday, the number one accused, O'Neill Lampkin, was placed on $20,000 bail when he pleaded not guilty to another charge. It is alleged that on October 3rd at Churchview International Hotel, he unlawfully assaulted Sean Simon. The accused told the court that on the day in question, he and the others accused were at the bar at the hotel in Byman when the victim was attacked. The matter also comes up on Friday. For the Evening News, Andrew Carmichael.
Rupert Seniorine joins us now to report that Guyana has developed top-line strategies for the management of its oil industry to stave off the resource curse that has befallen many nations, but implementation and building out a robust government capacity as well as workforce incentives would prove instrumental in achieving success. This was a view shared by global policy innovator in energy security and extractive industry transparency, David Goldwyn.
President of Goldwyn Global Strategies, an international energy advisory consultancy, and the chairman of the Atlantic Global Energy Centers Advisory Group, David Goldwyn, delved into Guyana's oil industry during a press conference on Tuesday at the Center for Local Business Development. Apart from investments in government's capacity and proper regulations, Goldwyn shared that continued incentivization and workforce development must take priority.
In Guyana, I think there are tremendous reasons for hope, and that's because of the lessons learned on how to get resource management right. The top-line strategies of the government are really all first-rate, and what lies ahead is implementation. And implementation is really hard. I mean, for one thing, you have to invest in government capacity. You have to be good regulators. You have to have the right incentives for workforce development. You have to make sure that you continue to incentivize investment.
However, he also outlined that these points come with caveats, meaning that government will have to strike a good balance in its spending, investors, and how it utilizes the resources to develop other sectors.
You're supposed to have a lot of public spending, but don't create inflation. You want to promote local content, but not so much you deter investors from coming here in the first place. You want to grow the private sector, but you also want to make sure that you get technology from external investors that will help you be the best in class. And you want to invest in education at home, but you also want people to study abroad so that they get the advantage of technical training in other places.
Goldwyn threw support behind the Natural Resource Fund and the Low Carbon Development Strategy, calling them textbook in proper resource management.
The strategies that I have heard about really are textbook for how to do resource management right. The first is the creation of a natural resource fund, and that is meant to do multiple things. One is to make sure that you don't overinflate the economy, so you can't spend all the money that you take in. Another is to sequester some of that money for future generations, and to have it available as they call it a rainy day fund, so when prices are low and the government budget is weak, so you can spend. Just because you produce oil and gas doesn't mean you want to consume oil and gas. You'll make a lot more money exporting it, and so trying to have a strategy so that your electricity is cleaner, greener, and frankly less expensive over time is a really smart strategy. Regulatory reform, cutting red tape, that's really important because the cost of doing business is the main thing an investor looks at when it decides whether it wants to be in Guyana or wants to be someplace else. And the diversification of the economy.
The global policy innovator in energy security and extractive industry transparency added that cutting red tape and the diversification of the economy will encourage investors to look at Guyana to inject resources. Goldwyn added that investments through the National Budget 2023 in healthcare, agriculture, education, information technology, and infrastructural linkages are terrific strategies undertaken thus far. Rupa Sinarayan, The Evening News.
In light of record high temperatures and the potential threat this raises to food security, the government is rolling out a number of measures that include the use of smart technology to promote water conservation. Here are the details in this report. On Monday, the 32nd Annual Caribbean Water and Wastewater Association CWWA Conference and Exhibition got underway at the Marriott Hotel in Guyana. In his remarks at the event, Prime Minister retired Brigadier Mark Phillips noted that the conference is a timely one. He also told those gathered of how seriously the government views water conservation and the strategies being considered in this regard.
I believe our governments must commit to investing in modern water infrastructure and technology. This includes updating and expanding water treatment facilities, pipelines, and distribution systems to minimize losses due to leaks and ensure reliable access to clean water. It also involves incorporating smart monitoring and management systems that can enhance efficiency and help in the early detection of water-related issues. In addition, sustainable practices like rainwater harvesting and wastewater recycling should be encouraged to reduce the strain on freshwater sources.
According to the Prime Minister, the overarching issue of climate change must also be addressed. Phillips noted that climate change and water shortages are inextricably linked, in particular since Guyana is currently feeling the effects of El Niño.
The symbiotic relationship between climate change and water management is undeniable. Climate change exacerbates the extreme weather patterns responsible for floods and droughts. Climate change threatens the livelihoods and safety of countless communities worldwide. It intensifies the depletion of water resources, endangering the water supply and the delicate balance of our ecosystems. These challenges can no longer be viewed in isolation.
Minister of Housing and Water, Colin Crowell, meanwhile spoke of the amount of money Guyana has spent in water management.
Importantly, to further improve sanitation management, Guyana has expended over $2.1 billion in financing to local government organs to support their delivery of services to communities. Technical assistance has also been provided in the areas of on-site wastewater treatment, waste management, hand washing, drainage maintenance, procurement, and organizing cleanup campaigns and community outreaches. The challenges we face are complex, but they are not insurmountable.
The CWWA is a regional NGO based in Trinidad and Tobago. It comprises of water, wastewater, and solid waste professionals in the public and private sectors. This is the second time the conference is hosted in Guyana. Jarrell Bryan, The Evening News. A dormitory, constructed at a cost of $75 million, has been inaugurated at Lenora Secondary School, West Coast Demerara, Region 3, Essequibo Islands, West Demerara, offering a solution to students residing in remote areas of the region. Lawanda McAllister has this story.
The dormitory comprises separate section for male and female students and currently houses 23. The facility is equipped with fire prevention tools and various amenities, ensuring the safety and comfort of the students. During the official commissioning ceremony on Tuesday, Minister of Education Priya Manik-Chan highlighted how dormitories enable students who previously lacked access to secondary education or had to travel to distant places like Bartica, Aurora, or Anna Regina to pursue their education more conveniently.
Children who before today could not get a secondary education or had to go to Bartica or Aurora or Anna Regina, some can now come here, which is easier for them and their parents. A lot of parents were reluctant to send their children so far away, just like we would all be. So what happened? They stayed home.
The beneficiaries of these dorm at Lenora include students from several communities such as Saxicali, Alakai, Caracaria, Lana Bali, Upper and Lower Bonasica, Santa Mission, Sand Hills, and Hawk Island. Minister Manik-Chan also mentioned that similar dormitories are available in other regions like Port Kaituma, Mabaruma, Santa Rosa, and Wakapoya in Region 1, Warramado, Bartica, and 3 Mile Secondary Schools in Region 7, and Keto and Madia Secondary Schools in Region 8. Additionally, dormitories are provided at St. Ignatius, Anai, Aishalton, and Sand Creek in Region 9, and Kwakwani Secondary School in Region 10.
A secondary school means secondary education. So if you don't have a school, you can't get an education. If These children who live in these villages are equal to mine. They're equal to your children who live out here on the coast. They have the same ability, they have the same potential, they have the same qualities, they have the same capacity for learning. And so we have to give them space and a place to sit down and learn.
Meanwhile, Regional Chairman Sheikh Ayubi highlighted that dorms were strategically built at Lenora as it is easily accessible to parents. It is also close to a hospital, fire station, and police station. Reporting for the Evening News, I am Luanda McAllister.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic on Wednesday, October 25th, 2023 at 1:30 for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is expected to be closed at 13:50 on Wednesday, October 25th, 2023, also for a period of 1.5 hours.
Limacall School Football League launched and swimmers satisfied with Pan Am Games outing. Details of these stories and more in the Sportscast sponsored by McCorp coming up on the other side of the break.
Are you looking for men's suits for that wedding, prom, or special party? Or maybe you need to update your wardrobe with a modern fit or a new color for work? Search no more, because John Lewis Styles is the perfect men's suit store. Come see us on Waterloo Street, and our friendly staff will help you choose the perfect size, color, and fit. Complement that suit with a stunning shirt and tie, matching bow tie and suspenders, cufflinks, or even a pair of shiny dress shoes. You will love the way you look. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Your child needs nutrients every day. Enfagrow has DHA and iron, which supports your child's mental development. Enfagrow has components which cow's milk does not contain. Support your toddler's growth and complement their diet with Enfagrow. Let's fuel the wonder.
Superbet, your best bet. With many agents countrywide, our products are easily accessible. Visit an agent nearest to you to play your favorite games. Must be 18 years and older. Terms and conditions apply. Play responsibly.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Satco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Brimeville.
Your child needs nutrients every day. Enfagrow has DHA and iron, which supports your child's mental development. Enfagrow has components which cow's milk does not contain. Support your toddler's growth and complement their diet with Enfagrow. Let's fuel